These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.
Hi there, I'm Jamie Bourne with your top stories from ABC15 Arizona. No Kings protests. They are set to appear all across the country and right here in Arizona later today. Last year and back in June, the first round of some of these gatherings happened here in the Valley, including thousands of people who marched around the state capitol. Hundreds more protested in other parts of the Metro Phoenix area. And today, thousands are expected to return. And Scripps News Group's Shmora Barrett is showing us a recent study highlighting some of this growing political tension.
Data shows the No Kings protest held back in June was one of the largest single-day protest events in U.S. history. And organizers say that Saturday's event will surpass the summer's protests. And they emphasize they've coordinated safety training and de-escalation plans in order to keep the protests peaceful.
Show me what democracy looks like!
From San Diego to the suburbs of Ohio and southern Texas to Tampa, millions are expected to hit the streets Saturday for nationwide No Kings protests, demonstrating against President Trump and his administration's policies.
And over the past few months, thousands of people have organized once again in their communities, on the ground locally, volunteering to bring their neighbors, families, and friends together to say unequivocally, we have no kings.
The planned protests come as new polling out Friday shows 6 in 10 U.S. adults disapprove of how President Trump is handling his job. Republicans, like House Speaker Mike Johnson, labeling the demonstrations as Hate America rallies.
It'll be a collection of wild leftist policy priorities, and that'll be on display for the whole country.
But organizers behind Saturday's protests say peaceful, nonviolent demonstrations are a core American principle, which is what they're committed to.
There is nothing more American than saying that we don't have kings and exercising our right to peaceful protest.
But 30% of Americans now say violence may be necessary to get the country back on track, according to a recent poll. That's up 10 points from last year. And a quarter of Democrats say use of force is justified to remove President Trump from office. All as violence against political voices on both sides continues to rise. Psychology research professor Clark McCauley compares this moment to the 1900s anarchist movement.
Called group extremity shift, much studied in social psychology. And that moral framing makes it possible to do violence against the enemy.
Looking back at this summer's No Kings protest, there were dozens of arrests reported across several cities due to instances of violence, which appears to be why there's an increased focus on peace for this weekend to best get protesters' points across. Shmora Barrett, Scripps News Group, Denver.
Dan, here's what we do know about those protests planned for today here in the Valley. We want you to take a look at this map. There are 20 plus protests that are planned, ranging from Goodyear all the way to Queen Creek. We do expect most will end up outside of the state capitol. So if you're in downtown Phoenix today, you will likely see them there as well. But stick with us because we will have much more coverage later on throughout the day on these protests. And more from our political team today. Pressure is mounting on House Speaker Mike Johnson to swear in Congresswoman-elect Adelita Grijalva, as Arizona lawmakers say he's applying a double standard. Johnson had the chance to swear her in during Friday's pro forma session, but he did not. Now he's facing some legal action from Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays. Johnson says that he will swear her in when the House is called back to session, and Democrats agree to back House legislation to open the government.
Time is up. I gave him 2 days, and he continues to refuse to swear her in.
We are literally taxing people of southern Arizona without any representation. And there is no legitimate reason why she has not been sworn in. And I do support Attorney General Chris Mays doing the action she's doing.
Johnson dismissed that threat, calling it a publicity stunt. In the meantime, Grijalva does have access to her congressional office, but not much else. The lawsuit is expected to be filed early next week. It'll be a really nice day here in the Valley. Our expected high today in Phoenix is 86 degrees. That is just below average for this time of year. Nowhere near that record when we were in triple digits back in 2003. So get out there, enjoy that fall-like weather today. Not just here in Phoenix, but all across the beautiful state of Arizona. 77 is your high today here in Sedona. Flagstaff, you'll be sitting at a cool and crisp 66 degrees. Other spots like Globe, you'll be reaching 76 today. Payson will be 73. Dry skies as well, so not like last weekend. And we do have a little bit of a warm up on the way. We'll reach 89 by tomorrow, spiking up to potentially 90 degrees by Tuesday before sticking in the 80s for the tail end of your work week. For the very latest headlines, weather, and traffic, just head on over to ABC15.com or on our streaming apps.